Hey guys, James here today, and welcome to another house building video. This one is called Totally Tubular. It is a 1970s styled house because I really wanted to try one. And you can see what I'm doing here as I'm working on the roof. Now, I wanted the roof to be very... it's different. I'll say that because if you haven't seen the screenshots or anything yet, you'll kind of see how it develops. Now, the way I'm doing the roof, I have to do the floor plan first, and I believe I couldn't find the picture, but I remember finding a page on the internet somewhere. But yeah, of course it was on the internet. It wouldn't be somewhere else. Anyways, I found it somewhere, and it was a website that had a bunch of sort of, I think it was like 70s house like floor plans, and I saw that. Like this was a long time ago, and then when I came back in and finally decided I want to sort of tackle this house, I kind of did a similar layout. I don't think it is quite like one of them. It's similar, but I don't know. I thought I'd throw that in there, so it's not like, so I'm crediting partially to the source, but I don't know the source. I kept trying to search to find it, but I don't know what the website was, so I don't know. But anyways, it was kind of inspired off of that as well. And of course, I did a lot of Google searches as I was building this for like sort of 70s interior design because I, of course, don't know it off the top of my head. So I had to look it up, and I went from there. And let me tell you, it gets pretty psychedelic. Just you got to get in touch with my 70s lingo. It's groovy, baby. Anyways, yeah, it gets pretty crazy with the patterns and colors, which you'll see pretty shortly. But of course, let's get back to the house. Well, I'm doing the roof now. I'm using stairs. If you hold down, if you're using constrained floor elevation and you hold down the Alt key, it will place one stair, and that's how I got it to slope so consistently downward like that. I do have a tutorial. I believe it's called exact wall heights and foundation height, something like that. It's like exact wall height or something. If you look at my channel under tutorials, you'll be able to find it if you want to learn more about how I did this. So that's all available for you. But basically, the roof is on the right-hand side, the longer side where it slopes down is sort of one stair slopes, and on the other side is two stair slope, if that makes sense. I'm trying to explain as best as I can, but it's kind of a hard thing to explain. But it caused numerous nightmares. I actually didn't record about 1.5 hours, possibly more, of me constantly messing around with the roof. Because seriously, once you do a roof like this, if you make like one change to the house, you have to redo the roof. Because there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh, hang on, if I put a wall there, that'd be a great idea. And then once you put that wall in, you got to redo the roof. In hindsight, I probably should have left the roof to the last thing I did. But that's hindsight, and I can do that next time instead of doing it every 5 seconds. You'll see me multiple times throughout this video redoing the roof, and that's only a fraction of the number of times I actually did the roof in the video. So there's much more pain. I believe this cut coming up here where it jumps over in just a second. Where is it? I'm sorry. What? Yeah, that cut there? No, it's one of the cuts where, I add a second level to the house, but I don't actually show me doing it because, again, that took forever to get right. Had multiple mistakes throughout it. This is one of those things that uses CFE in a way that if you make a little mistake or make a single change, it takes a giant amount of time to fix, which is why I sort of left out a little bit. But of course, you don't notice any sort of like skips in the video in terms of building work because it's all just repetitive changes that I had to do. But I thought it was for the best anyways. So you can see the house coming to shape now, coming together now. Yeah, coming in. I don't know why I said coming in shape there. I don't know. That was weird. But it's all coming together now. You got that nice roof, got that roof pattern on there. Actually, one nice thing about this house is because the roof does use floor tiles, you can change it to whatever you want with the Creator Style tool, which is pretty cool. So if you do download this and you want to change the roof, by all means. I mean, what I would like to see though, because I do love people doing renovations and all that kind of stuff. But fair warning, if you want to download this house and renovate it or do whatever you want with it, it's hard to change the walls in the house without messing everything up. But if you're downloading it and you renovate it and just like sort of redecorate it, changing the colors, the items, etc., then that's fine. As long as you don't change any of the walls, then it's pretty easy to sort of do what you want. But as soon as it comes into changing walls and all that, you'll sort of run into what I'm doing now, where look, I'm redoing the roof numerous times because I decided I want to add a balcony out the back. That's a good idea. Let's redo the entire roof so I can do that. So there we go. Anyways, this is the kind of process I went through. And of course, like I said, I cut out most of it as well. But it's a lot of fun because of course, I haven't done a 70s house before, ever. And especially what was fun was doing the interior and picking so many ridiculous patterns and colors. And it's just crazy. It is just crazy. I mean, I will say this 70s interior design is one of the fuggliest looking designs I've seen. Like 70s is hideous. I don't know what you guys were thinking back then, but it does not look great. It's a lot of fun though to mess around with. It is a lot of fun. Just choosing some wallpapers for the outside of the house because it did look a bit bland around the back. And I eventually get there with a wallpaper of my choice. But yeah, I don't really know what the inspiration for this house was. Because again, I came up with the concept of doing like a 70s house like a fair while back, but it wasn't until like the other week where I actually decided, hey, let's actually build this and let's get into it. And yeah, so like I said, the concept I got a while back, and that's when I found that website I was talking about before that had the sort of floor plan. And by the way, if you can manage to find it, do link it to me because I would like to put it in the description below because it did have a lot of cool like 70s house designs. I have no idea what I searched to find that website, and I can't find it again, which really sucks. Anyways, it's really cool. But of course, Google Images always has a lot of nice inspiration as well. Yeah, so I went for this. I looked at the Brady Bunch house, which for like sort of design or exterior sort of patterns and colors. And yeah, so that's kind of where I got the sort of stone aspect from. That was a key sort of factor in that sort of design, and also the roof color and all that kind of stuff was sort of inspired from the Brady Bunch house as well. And here I'm adjusting the roof once more because something else doesn't fit. Lots of fun with the roof, but of course, once we get into the furnishing, it actually becomes really interesting in the furnishing. At least I think it does, because I did spend quite a fair amount of time on furnishing. I mean, I could have done it quicker, I guess, but I was there was a lot of ums and ahs, and I was like, should it be like this or should it be like that? But yeah, so it was a lot of fun, quite a nice challenge. And yeah, so I got these columns here. Like as you can see, the roof sort of extends over and has this carport, so you can fit 2 cars in there, and I do put 2 cars in there a bit later on near the end. And you'll notice that there were a lot of warped walls before, like where all the walls are sloped up like that. If you put a pattern on it that has horizontal lines or any sort of horizontal pattern, you will see the warping in the pattern. But what I've done to sort of combat that is I've used those vertical wooden textures, because you can't notice any warping in a vertical texture. It just doesn't really show up. So that's kind of a way that I've kind of avoided it. And of course, you can also use flat textures. So a texture that doesn't have any pattern on it, you can use that to cover up warped walls. Just a sort of handy little hint if you're working with constrained floor elevation. Flat textures or vertical based patterns work great on warped walls because you can't see it at all. So that's that little sort of upper balcony I was talking about. And we haven't really seen it yet, but there is a really cool loft space in the house. You probably saw it briefly there. It's on the second level, and it's a really cool little space. I think it's awesome. It's like this. I guess it's kind of like a little office area. I just did the fence in it there. We will see it a bit better later, and of course there's screenshots, and you can see all the screenshots on my website. At the moment, I'm just doing getting the color right for some sort of terracotta tiles, because I felt like a terracotta tile bathroom is the kind of color scheme that would go with it. And I've got that sort of greeny carpet. I go for a lot of greens, browns, yellows, oranges, those kind of colors. And a lot of the vibrant colors come from the objects themselves later on. I mean, I would not like to have the colors that this house has in real life. Not today anyways. Maybe if I was alive in the 70s and I thought it was a good design, then I would have had it. Just there, I was having a lot of problems placing the stage tool. But you'll see I managed to place it straight away there. But that was a cut where I redid the entire roof again because the stage tool wouldn't place because the floor wasn't flat. So I had to flatten out the floor, which in turn made the roof pop up, and it wasn't correct anymore. So I had to redo the roof. And it's just one thing after another. Anyways, going for this little sunken sort of living area here. I originally did it with this half wall, but I later replaced it with a regular wall piece because I felt like the half wall was too high. I did want to do, because I saw a picture on Google, you'll probably see it. If you search 70s interior design on Google Images, you'll see the one I'm talking about. It has like this sunken sitting area, this sort of yellow couch wrapping around like I've done there, and that sort of central wooden television area. That's pretty much where the idea for that came off. And it also has that sort of polka dot pattern there that I used. Anyways, yeah, so ideally I would have had it sunken further down, like I'd have 4 steps going down to it, but that would require me lifting the house onto foundations, which in turn would require me rebuilding the whole thing. So I figured the ship had sailed on that idea, and I sort of just used the stage tool instead, which, I mean, it worked pretty fine in the end. And here we go with all these crazy patterns. Let me tell you, they get crazier than that. It was a lot of fun to mess with, because a lot of these patterns, I can honestly say I've never legitimately used on walls or floors in the game before. And to use them in such a way is a lot of fun. I mean, if you want to play around with crazy patterns and funky colors and psychedelic, I don't know, textures, then this is the sort of era of house you want to go for. Go for the 70s. Pretty much in the 70s, in 70s houses, you could do crazy patterns, whatever you want to do, really. That TV is actually from 70s, 80s, and 90s stuff, which I felt was entirely accurate and perfect, the perfect thing to put in the house, and it fit just right. Just doing this sort of little feature center bit there. I mean, it has no function. You can't use any of that stuff behind the TV, but it's just a nice little decorative piece there that I thought worked quite nicely. And that sort of 3x1 center column that I was just talking about there is actually, it's supposed to be a chimney, because I do put a fireplace in the basement, which in reality, I don't know if a fireplace in a basement would be such a great idea in terms of ventilation, but this is a sim, so that's what happened. I did fully intend of having it in the living area, but then I never got around to that, and I just had the TV there instead. And look at that crazy pattern on the wall behind there. That one does change. It changes to a striped pattern, which I think looks really nice. It has like, that sort of green, yellow, orange in it. And it's really interesting. Those curtains have some interesting patterns on them as well. It's a lot of fun. I love that sort of cow pattern rug as well, because that cow pattern, I think, was in one of the 70s interior design screenshots you can find on Google as well. A lot of this stuff, if you do search around on Google, you'll find sort of where I've got the color schemes and stuff from. And it was a lot of fun because, of course, I had to do my research. I don't know what 70s is off the top of my head because I wasn't alive then, of course. So I did have to do a little bit of research. Yeah, so just filling in all the additional wallpapers here and there to finish off the, I guess, obviously all the walls and all that. At the moment, I've only done the portion of the living area, the living room. Looks like, I think I go into doing the kitchen next. A nice crazy pattern in the kitchen. I'm not actually sure what I do next. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, that's that sort of loft area up there. It's really, really cool. I really love that area. We've got 2 bathrooms, one in the loft, obviously up here, and then one on the main level down below. And they have these beautifully hideous green toilets and sinks and tubs. It's just brilliant. It was one of the pictures of Google Images. If you search 70s interior design, once again, you'll see this horrible red patterned wallpaper and flooring, and then these green toilets and sinks and baths, and it is just atrocious. It is atrocious, but I love it. I do. I'm actually really happy with the way this house turned out in terms of it looking like a 70s build. At least I think it does. And for that, I'm pretty proud of the final product of the house itself. So I placed a chimney in the basement just then and removed all the actual chimney objects because you can't just delete all the sort of chimney pieces because when you place a chimney, it has all those brick pieces and you can delete them with move objects on because more often than not, they get in the way and you don't need them. Here's the kitchen, a beautiful bright yellow. I do actually invert the colors in a second and you'll see what I mean by invert. I make the counters yellow and the cabinets brown. I think that worked out better in the end. Yeah, so it's a beautifully yellow kitchen. Interesting colors. 70s. You are not the friend of the interior designer. I can tell you that now. We do have a bit of exposed brick on the inside wall there, as you can see behind the fridge. Not too much. That's the only exposed brick in the house, I think. And then we have that horrible pattern behind the cabinets. Those cabinets are from Into the Future. They actually fit perfectly in there. I think they match the cabinets quite nicely, and they colored up really nicely as well. So that was pretty good. Yeah. So we got a few appliances here and there. Of course, I didn't do. There's no dishwasher or trash compactor. We just have a little bin and we have a sink to do all your washing up. And then we have a couple of bar stools, I think. Oh, lighting in this house was pretty interesting as well, because I didn't feel there were many lights that sort of fit the house very well. There are a few sort of interesting lights that I did use. And but then those big sort of rectangle and square lights that you see around, you'll see those sort of white squares if you haven't already noticed them. That they provide light, and then when you go into live mode, you don't see them anymore. So you can see them above the living area. They are super handy. I've used these in the last few builds, and I have spoken about them. And for some reason, people still ask where you get them and how you do it. Again, people, I do have tutorials on my channel that cover a lot of the building techniques I use, and it also covers those lights. I have a lighting tutorial that talks explicitly about using those lights, which is also very handy. And some people ask how you build a house without money, and I do actually have a tutorial on that as well. So honestly, if you have a question about building, check my tutorials first. If it's not there, then you can ask me, and then I'll probably do a tutorial. I've been meaning to do a few more tutorials, actually, because there's some things that I haven't covered, or that I did cover in the past that I have since deleted because the videos are really old and sort of just generally bad quality, and I wasn't pleased with them. So I changed it up a little bit. Fixing up the patterns on the outside because I felt the stone was a little too harsh. And now I moved this I'm still unsure of whether doors work on platforms or not. Someone said in a previous video, I believe it was on the collaboration build I did with Jason Mazda, they said yes, doors work on platforms. But I don't know. I don't know personally, because you can't place a door on a platform without a cheat. So I don't know if it works or not. If it doesn't, then just get rid of the platform and you can place the door back and it should be fine. But anyways, long story short, I placed this door up on this sort of little terracotta like stage. It was supposed to be a little terracotta tiles stage area. So you'd come in, you'd wipe your feet and that kind of stuff so you wouldn't get it on the carpet. That was the idea of that little raised stage area there. Beautiful patterns on the walls and curtains there, as you can see. I do love the crazy patterns, I really do. Well, it's a love-hate relationship, really. I love to hate them. I mean, it's really fun to see all these crazy colors, because normally I wouldn't do anything remotely like this in a house that I build. So this was a lot of fun. Again, this house was a lot of fun in numerous ways, in terms of like the decorating and the actual build. The build was a lot of fun. What wasn't fun was fixing the build every 5 seconds. And again, like I said, I probably should have left the roof to the last thing I do. That would have saved a lot of headaches. It was just tedious. It was a tedious task to sort of fix up properly. I loved recoloring those bookcases, actually, having those yellow accents on the bookcases. I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty psychedelic. It was groovy, baby. And other 70s lingo. I don't know if you saw it there, but I whipped out a horse statue there. I was hoping it sat on the coffee table, but it wouldn't go on. It was too big. And the reason I did that was because, I don't know if you know, but in the Brady Bunch, I think it was in, well, it is in just the Brady Bunch show in general. They have this horse statue, and then it was in, I think it was in, I can't remember if it was an actual Brady Bunch movie or if it was that series of Brady Bunch movies that is like the satire version of it, where they're basically making fun of the Brady Bunch. I think it might have been pretty sure it was one of the satire movies of it. But anyways, and they had like that horse statue that maybe it was an episode of the show. I really don't know. It's been a long time since I watched the Brady Bunch, but I have actually watched it. So anyways, they had the horse statue. It got stained with some, I think it was like grape juice or something it got stained with, and they had to get it cleaned before the parents found out. But no, I think it was an episode. I think it was an episode of the show, not anyways, going on a massive tangent there. Anyways, that's why I wanted to try and place a horse in this house to sort of reference that, but it didn't work out. So there is no horse. Oh my God, this bedroom. I did, again, throughout Googling, I saw a bedroom that was this complete pink. It was this pink bedroom completely over. There was pink carpets, pink bed sheets, pink walls. It was crazy. So I did this sort of really vibrant sort of, it's kind of like this really strong, dark, pinkish red color on the carpet. And the bed is up on the stage as well, because I thought that was quite funkadelic and other words that are retro. Anyways, yeah, so went for a nice pink bedroom. And because I couldn't really use pink anywhere else in the house, although I did use a pink rug up on the up in the loft area. But anyways, I couldn't really use pink that much in the house because it didn't really go with the other colors. But having said that, most of these colors are pretty horrendous in general. Anyway, here's the green bathroom. I love the green bathroom. It's so hideously simple. Just have these atrociously green fixtures against these terracotta tiles and that sort of hideously patterned wallpaper. I think that bathroom is just 70s all over. That is the definition of 70s right there, in my opinion. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but I really, truly do love that bathroom. It's something about it. I love it. Did plenty of rugs in the bathroom there because, I mean, they even some of the pictures I've even saw, they had fully carpeted bathrooms, which I think, man, that would be a nightmare to have a carpeted bathroom. Now, I went with a children's bedroom in this house with 2 beds. I was going to do a sort of more teens styled room, akin to that 70s show. If you haven't seen that 70s show, first of all, you should probably watch it. It's a fantastic show. And secondly, yeah, I was going to, and because that's the reason I added the basement. I was going to do a basement area for teens, kind of like in that 70s show, but it didn't work out like that. It kind of turned into more of a sort of games room, sort of / parents retreat kind of basement. And then this is sort of just a kids room. Lots of little toys here and there. Borrowed some tips and tricks from Delhi actually on this one in terms of furnishing kids rooms. So that was pretty interesting. If you haven't checked out the apartment that I posted the other day, the apartment build, you should definitely check that out. A 49-minute speed build, mind you, in collaboration with Deligracy, another Australian simmer, by the way. Yeah, it's awesome. It's an incredibly large apartment block. It's insane. Anyways, enough plugging of another video. Let's get back to this one. Doing the same sort of green bathroom upstairs. Hideous. Here we are. We're furnishing the loft area now. It's just got a pretty basic sitting area on this side, and then on the other side we do like a little office area with plenty of desk space. So that's the only other place I use pink in this house. I don't know, looking at it now, if I like that pink rug anymore. I probably would have changed that if I could go into it now and change it, but it's a bit too late for that. Anyway, so that's there, and we've got more yellow up here. Lots of yellows and browns and greens in this house because it's 70s after all. That's what you got to do. That 70s house. Oh, that's what I should call this house, actually, instead of totally tubular. But tubular, oh my god, it's such a hilarious word. I Googled up, lots of Googling for this episode. Googled up 70s slang, and I found obviously all the words like psychedelic and groovy, and then I found tubular, and I just totally remembered, no idea what it was from, probably in a Brady Bunch at some point, someone saying that's totally tubular. And I don't know, I decided to call the house that. I mean, I might have called it something psychedelic, or I was going to call it Groovy Baby, as in the quote from Austin Powers, but nah, didn't pan out. Anyways, just making sure everything's lit up nicely, using those sort of invisible lights to light up the loft area because the roof is actually quite low in the loft, so it's kind of hard to get lights that fit nicely. We're down in the basement now, in front of the fireplace, getting some different sort of sofas there. I love those little beanbag chairs I believe they're from Late Night. I think so. I love those little beanbag chairs, so they are perfect for this sort of house. Totally tubular, man. Anyways, good. Those nice. I actually love those large bookcases in the back. Lots of storage space. Oh, well, not in reality, but it is kind of, I don't know. It's scenic storage. A pool table there. I don't know if they can use it. Don't know if they can use that pool table. But it's there. Of course, you could just chuck it, get rid of it, and put something else there instead. But I thought it looked pretty cool. I felt like it was a fitting item for a basement. However, that would be an absolute hell to get that pool table into the basement. You've only got those stairs there, so that would be so hard to get into the basement. You have to turn it on the side, take off the legs, and it'd be really heavy. That'd be really hard to get in the basement, actually. But that's not my problem. It's in the basement now anyways. I think we just jump on to the exterior of the house now. We do a couple of lounge chairs out in that little balcony there. And of course, that balcony joins into the loft there where the desk sort of workstation area is, and you can see it just in there. I really do love that loft area. It's really cool. It fits in so nicely just above the living space. And we will see some pretty interesting screenshots of that later on. Of course, you can see all the screenshots over on my website as well as download it from there. So that's not an issue at all. This little area behind the cars it's just like a sort of little workshop area, and I also chuck a couple of bikes in there. I wanted to get a Brady Bunch sort of wagon style car, but of course the Sims 3 doesn't have that. I got the closest I could. Did some nice mowed grass everywhere on the lot, and I actually fully fenced this house, believe it or not. Did that sort of large wooden fence around the back, and then I did a picket fence around the front and the right-hand side of it, because I thought that looked quite nice and it fit in quite well. Lots of hedges down the side of the house there, just for a bit of privacy, really, or privacy if you prefer to pronounce it. Choosing some trees to sort of finish it off. Pretty light on the landscaping side, just a couple of trees and some shrubs here and there, just to sort of finish it off and give it that sort of little touch at the end there. And that's the little picket fence I was talking about. And I actually really do like the look of this house on the exterior in terms of like the landscaping. I think it's nice and simple, but not too simple. It's got that sort of I don't know, it's got a nice vibe to it, I think. But we'll be jumping into the screenshots very shortly now, and then we'll get a nice look at the house overall, and just get a closer look at everything there is. Just doing the terrain painting there. There is a front. I really do love the roof, how it comes over the sort of carport in the front of the house. There, we've got that nice picket fence. Here's another angle where you can see underneath the roof there, and there's the two cars there. Nice. I tried to make them look old, but you kind of. There's not much car choice in The Sims 3, so I did my best there. The backyard, got the seesaw, the slide, and the swing set there for the kids, because obviously this is a family-based house. Of course, if you lived in the 70s, this is for your 70s family. That's a little workshop area there with the bikes. That's the entrance of the house there with a nice crazy rug. This is part of the living area. Got two little beanbags there. That's a sunken sitting area, which I love. Love that sort of large couch. You can see the loft up there with the fence, and another sort of view of it there. We'll get some better shots of it later. So that's looking down from the loft to the living area. And there's sort of like that large sort of hanging spotlight that you saw there. We'll see it again in the basement later on, but I love it. This is the kitchen dining area, of course. Nice bright yellow kitchen. That's the dining table there. And there's the kitchen in the background there. Nice crazy wall patterns. Another view of the kitchen with the stairs going up to the loft there. Here is the master bedroom with that excruciatingly pink flooring and wallpaper. Oh, the bathroom. Love it. Love the bathroom. Fantastic. That's the kids' bedroom there. Lots of posters and a crazy wall pattern on that side of the wall. Here is the loft area. You come up the stairs from the kitchen. You can see the dining table there. Little sitting area to lounge around, that sort of hanging light. Large desk space there to work from. Nice view of the loft from a different angle. And again, there's another view of the loft and the sitting area. Here's a balcony outside, just outside of the sort of workstation area. I believe that's the upstairs bathroom there. This is the basement, of course, with the pool table. Another angle over there. I actually do like the basement. The basement turned out quite nice, better than I thought it would, actually, because I had no plan for it. So I'm quite happy with that. And we'll be jumping into the floor plans about now. There we go. So that's the lower level. And then the upper level, and then we got a few different angles here. But yes, thank you for watching this speed build video. You can, of course, download it from my website. Links in the description below. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time and have a great day.